Okay, already. This season, we're coaching someone through what so many of us go through.
I'm Alison.
I'm Michelle.
Meet Sophie. She stayed too long, she'll break up, she'll heal, she'll date, she'll spiral. She's you, she's us.
We'll walk with her and you through every phase, from heartbreak to wholeness.
If you're tired of the chaos and ready to thrive in singlehood and in love,
welcome to season 3. Oh,
that was so
close.
good. Go.
Recording in progress. Hello. Hello.
It's feeling weird because we've just recorded 2 episodes, so like the intro. It's still my birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
It's
Happy
my birthday for
birthday,
3 weeks.
dear Alison. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And I apologize for my singing.
It was beautiful. Okay, I mean, let's get into it with Sophie and asking for help with mental health. I mean, it might be a bit jarring, but let's just go for it.
Asking for help is always hard, no matter your mental state.
Yes, I agree. And I think it is for anybody, like not just singlehood. It's weird. It's weird that asking for, because I think, how would you feel if somebody asked you for help?
Well, it depends who it is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to help anyone. I don't want to ask for help just so other people don't ask me for help. But I feel like if someone's asking to help with something, I feel the sort of sense of pride of like, oh, look how important I am to them, that they're able to ask me for help. And if I love and care for them, then I'm happy to help. I feel like honored to help them. And I also think that it means it shows how strong they are and how confident they are in themselves, that they're able to put everything aside and just say, this is something that I cannot do on my own and I need your help with it. How about you?
I guess the same.
Yeah.
I guess the same. I think there are 2 types of asking for help. There's the, I'm sitting here and JTC's asking me for help to change the nappy, and I'm just like, ugh, for goodness sake. And then, but there's the other type of help of I'm not feeling good, like I need help. You need to really kind of like, and I agree with that. I agree with what you said of just like feeling helpful and trusted. And and saying this, I'm just kind of like, I think everybody agrees, I think everybody's on the same kind of like, yeah, sometimes you're happy to help people, other times you feel a bit, like you don't want to help people, but if it's deep, then you're happy to help. And I think it's not, there's some truth to that, but I think it's just, admitting that you need help, regardless of that, is tough.
It is. And
Yeah, her first question is, how do I start asking for help when I'm feeling stuck, depressed, or lost after being single for a while?
I think the mindset around it needs to be also changed. Again, we're talking a lot about mindset in the past few episodes, but I think it's really important because that's the basis of the whole concept of when I was single and I felt like, part of being single is being on my own and doing things for myself and feeling strong and feeling empowered and feeling this and that sort of gets us out, like it makes us feel a sense of an incorrect or don't know if incorrect, but like it gives us this a sense that that if we ask for help, that means we're weak and that we can't be strong on our own, and that that not asking for help and doing everything on your own means that you're a strong person. And I don't think that's true. I think if you're easily giving up and not even allowing yourself the opportunity to do things for yourself and constantly just asking for help, that's one thing. But if you're only doing things for yourself and you're only depending on yourself and you're never asking for help, that's not a sign of strength. And I think in general, just like the two extremes are not good. I think any
Yeah.
extreme isn't good or healthy for you. So, I think first of all, you have to tell yourself that it's okay to ask for help. There's not a single person in the world that can do everything, especially not alone.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's what other people are meant for, is to help you and complement you and fill in the gaps where you can't reach.
yeah, I mean, how do I start asking for help when I'm feeling stuck? If you're feeling any sort of way about asking for help, ask yourself first, did I give it a good try? Like, did I, because, okay, when I used to work in a shop selling lingerie,
Mm.
and I'd get, so, you get all sorts of customers. You get the customers who look around a lot and then ask for help, and then you get the customers who don't ask for help ever, and then you get all sorts. But like the customer who would walk in and be like, "Where do I find the washing machine bags?"
Mhm.
I was like, "They're right here. Like you're asking me the question, and they are just in front of you. Like you didn't even try. You just came in and couldn't be bothered." So that would annoy me. And then, but when you get other people that come straight in and they're like, "Okay, I've got a very specific requirement and I don't have much time. Can you help me?" Then that's even something else. Like, okay, you can't find this on yourself by yourself. Let's not waste any time. And then you've got other people who come in, look around, um, and then say, "I can't find this." And then the people who try, or the people who are very aware that it's difficult, that when they ask for help, you just want to help them. It's the people who don't give a shit, who just come in and, like, rather than wasting their time, they're happy to waste your time. Those are
Yeah.
the people that are annoying. That are annoying. But if like have given it thought and everything, and you honestly, coming here like, honestly, I need help, you won't be turned away.
Yeah.
And the other day, I saw this kind of short of somebody complaining about a bunch of her friends not being there for her, and I was just like, well, then change people, and don't expect a bunch of people. There's a balance to have, like, you yourself, are you going to be 100% present for 20 people in your life? Probably not, because it's a lot of
No.
people. You'll give 100% to a handful of people, and that's
Yeah.
going to be reciprocated. And if you don't have a handful of people that give you 100%, then you need to find people who do. Um, but anyway, we've spoken about that. We're not going to go into that. But so it's,
Yeah.
asking for help. So yeah, ask yourself first, did you give it a good try on your own? If you're feeling
Mhm.
any sort of way about asking for help, ask yourself if you gave it a try. And if you did, then it will come from a different place.
Yeah.
It will come from a vulnerable, genuine position of, okay, I'm needing help. Like, this isn't me giving up. This is me, trying to do better and needing help for it. And you won't get turned away because, as we said
Mhm.
at the beginning, like, people feel valued when they are asked for help.
Yeah. And I think, again, like what you were saying, is that you do need to have people around you that you feel comfortable with to ask for help. If you don't have anyone around you that you feel comfortable enough with, then that's also an indication of maybe you also need to rethink of all the people that are in your life. And so I think it sort of also ties in with, like, her next question is, what if I'm afraid of people judging me for admitting I'm struggling emotionally being single? I think then again, you have to change the people there and the people who are judging you. And I think it sort of also reflects what you feel on the inside to, you know, you're afraid of them judging you because you're also judging yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, there's the judgment needs to be taken out of the equation when asking for help.
I
And
mean,
yeah.
we talk about changing your people and things like that. I think we're addressing like the really minority of our listeners. I think the majority of our listeners, they have good people, and Sophie
Yeah.
definitely has good people. And it's, what if I'm afraid of the judgment? Then what you said about it's because you're judging yourself is so true.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee that, not everybody, because you and I were close, but we don't have the same background, so we don't know what each other is feeling. But you will definitely find other people who are feeling this, who have felt the same.
Yeah.
And so
But even
for
if we
me with
don't feel the
motherhood,
same, we wouldn't judge each other for it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what I mean is just like, not only will you not be met with judgment, but you will also be met with profound understanding.
Yeah.
Um, and and it's cliche. You are always your harshest critic.
Yeah.
And you judge
Exactly.
yourself way harsher than you do other people, and all of this. But what if I'm afraid people will judge me? Yeah, I mean, it's normal. It's normal to be afraid
Yeah.
because you're judging yourself, and maybe you've judged people in the past
Yeah.
without knowing. And I think and it's forgiving yourself for that, and you maybe asking yourself a question: Did I ever judge anyone for this? And I wouldn't go so far as to asking them to forgive you, because probably isn't that deep. But forgive yourself, like, you didn't know and now you know. And just
Yeah.
because at one point you didn't know doesn't mean that you don't deserve understanding today. I mean, it's okay. It's a bit of a hurdle. And again, it's baby steps. What if it seems insurmountable to ask for help? What are baby steps to get there? Because a first step could just be sending a text saying, "Hey, how are you?" I think it was Diary of a CEO podcast, was where the guest was saying that he and his friend have this code, where they were saying, did you see, guys, see the episode where there was this study done of, to feel genuine human connection, all you need is a 7-minute conversation. Like, it's, 7 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but if you speak on the phone with somebody, like a genuine conversation for 7 minutes, just to feel valued, is enough to kind of fill the social battery for a day or whatever. And so they send each other a text saying, "Hey, do you have 7 minutes?"
Oh,
And
that's sweet.
and
It's a
so
good idea.
they know, the other one knows, that something's going on, that they may or may not want to talk about it, but they definitely need to talk. And I'm not saying send your friend, "Have you got 7 minutes?" But it's, reach out, send a text. Do you want to meet up for a drink? Don't even
Yeah.
say that there's something going on. Just see how it feels to, do you want to go for a drink? I'd like to see you, and things like that. See how it feels.
Yeah. I think even that sometimes is just very helpful, just to get out of your own head. And
Yeah,
like when you're too stuck a lot with yourself and with your own thoughts, you just feel like, and with comparing yourself to social media, as we were talking about last episode, then you feel like that's the whole world. That's everything that's going on. And then you go out into the world and see, oh wait, maybe this isn't as scary as I built it up in my head to be. And so I think just getting out of the house and out of just being stuck in your mind is the first step.
yeah,
And it doesn't have to be scary, it doesn't have to revolve around the issue. It could just be, as you said, let's meet up, let's hang out, let's do something that isn't thinking about A, B, or C, you know?
yeah,
And again, it's looking at the situation, because a lot of times I do think that we look at it as something negative or something that isn't good, because we're judging ourselves, and so we think that's how everyone else is going to see it. And I think getting out there and going and talking to someone about it can actually show you the opposite, is that not everyone thinks like that, and you're not inflicting, but like you're creating, you're putting words into their mouth or into their
yeah,
beliefs without actually knowing what it is, just because that's the
Yeah.
way you see the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, to kind of go towards her next question of how do I find support or professional help that actually understands my situation? You know, I was a practicing professional, I'm less so. But this being said, I'm not sure that you need professional help. Like,
Hmm.
I, I think I had this teacher who said something that love is like the solution, and not romantic love, but just love and supportive love. And if you have like a really kind of supportive conversation with a friend, um, it can be enough. And she was saying it in the sense that you don't need to be spending money to kind of heal wounds.
Yeah.
However, if you don't want to have a conversation with a friend because for any reason, because of time, because of you want to have a completely neutral space, because it's fun, because I myself see a therapist, and I could talk to friends, but I choose to see a therapist because I also want to have that. I want to have that space of just like, this is where I talk about my shit, and then I go back to my life.
Yeah.
Um, and I think for me that's fine. I think, I'm not saying for anyone. And so, how do I find support? I think if you want to find support, you know, with the previous question of friends and things like that, it's just reaching out and seeing who's available. Because, like, if you're reaching out to your friend who's 6 weeks postpartum, or who's just started a new job, or who's moving into a different life, like, this friend probably isn't going to be emotionally available the way you need him or her to be.
Yeah.
Um, even though they may want to, it still may not be possible. So you want to reach out to a couple of people and tread the waters, and and remind yourself that if they're not available, it's not a reflection on you or on your friendship, it's a reflection on their availability. And if you want to see, and if that doesn't work, then I think your professional help is fine. And what I would say is test out a different, like, you know 2 to 4 different professionals, therapist, coach, you know whatever. See what fits for you, and then stick with one person.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of times even preferable to go to an outside source, just because
Mm,
you don't want a relationship to be defined by all the shit that you both go through, and that's all you talk about, and that's all you do when you're together is just complain about life. And
yes.
be with as much as they love you and want to help you, I think a lot of times your friends, your family, they're not professionals and they can't help you the way you need help sometimes.
Mm,
And I think it can even be very tricky and very um I don't want to say dangerous, because it's not, life or death, but like it can be detrimental, because a lot of times they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to help. They've never been in your situation. Maybe you only have people who really don't they care about you, they love you, they want to help you, but they don't understand because they've never been in that situation. And so they can't really give you good advice. They can't really help you. And
yeah.
yes, sometimes all you need is just a listening in, and to just either let it out or just hang out and do something to distract you, but or just feel like there's someone in your life that cares and loves you and whatever. But I feel like it's just a lot of times it's very hard to find someone who can give you that, you know, um, what's the word I'm looking for? The practical help that you need of how to get out of this and how to move on and how to find
And
those shifts and the things that are going to help you move forward.
again, keeping you honest of,
Hmm.
you know, that's it. People in my life would very gladly say no, but I would tell you if I thought what you're doing is wrong. They wouldn't.
They don't.
They wouldn't, and they don't, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't, and I have, on some,
Yeah.
I can give an example of when I have told somebody where I didn't agree with what they were doing, but mostly if I don't know, it depends. I might do, but often I don't, um, because I also, it's, people sometimes they just need friends and you need somebody to be in your corner. Whereas a
Yeah.
therapist will keep you honest and they'll say, well,
Mhm.
actually, are you sure this is the best behavior? Because your therapist doesn't care. I mean, they care about you, but they don't care that if you like them. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
exactly. And it's their job to
Yeah.
help you see the things you don't see.
Yeah.
And I think this also ties into a while back we had an episode where we spoke about the wise compassion versus the idiot compassion. I
Yes.
think as friends we just have a tendency to provide only idiot compassion, no matter how much you want to try and help your friends. So like basically is idiot compassion is like, for those of you who've not heard of it, is like basically just affirming your friend and their feelings, even if they were in the wrong, or even if there's a truth that that they need to hear, and you don't want to be the one to say it, or just like helping them lie to themselves.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I do it. I find myself doing it all the time, and it's just because we love a person. We don't want to make them feel, we just want to make them feel good. And I think that's something that a therapist or a professional is not going to do. And so yes, we need the idiot compassion at times, but we also need the wise compassion,
Yeah, I
where
agree.
someone just tells us straight and tells us, you know, this is something that's not good, and this is something that you need to work on, and you know, and not just hype you up.
And also, there's, with my therapist, like she's only ever met me and Teddy. Like I went
Mhm,
with us for a session when Teddy was like a tiny baby. Um, she doesn't have any sort of attachment to any of the
mhm,
people that I tell her about. Whereas if I tell my friends, like, about when JT upset me, or
mhm,
I'm angry with my mum, or like, whatever, or anybody in my circle, even you've met JT, you kind of, your vision is skewed, because also the way we talk is that, I'll tell you about stuff in passing, and what will you remember, what will you not remember, things like that. Whereas a
mhm,
therapist, they will, remember not everything, but a lot of what you tell them, and categorize it and everything, and try and make it as scientific and distant as possible. Um, Whereas friends, they can't, because they're involved, because they meet the friends and they hear about the friends in other circumstances, and they can't, they don't see all of the details and everything, and they see things differently,
mhm. And they're
and they
biased.
may not be available, and they're biased, and they may not
Yeah,
be as available as a therapist is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or a coach,
Because
or whatever.
because people have also their own stuff going on, and they can't. It's hard for them to let go of their own stuff and focus solely on you. And with a therapist, it is just about you, and it is focused on what you need right now. And it's not like, something that you have to worry about. With a friendship, you have to worry about give and take. You can't always just, have every hangout and conversation be just about you and just them helping you. And with a therapist, it's someone that you can go and be selfish with a bit. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Um, I mean, you to therapy.
Yay. I think it's good that it's being normalized. I think it's good that asking for help is being normalized, and I think that asking for help, and I learned this the hard way, especially through my singlehood, is that it's not a weakness, and it doesn't make me any less than
Mm,
anyone else. And again, I think when you are single, you do need to ask, you do have more situations where you need to ask for help,
yeah,
rather than someone who is in a relationship. And that's a difficult thing to come to terms with.
yeah, absolutely. Because just for, carrying something, or building an IKEA shelf or whatever,
Yeah.
I completely.
I don't even have to ask for help anymore. It's just like bags just disappear out of my hands.
Exactly.
And when you're single, like every single thing you either have to do for yourself or you have to ask someone for help, because you don't have that go-to person who's just going to do it without even being asked.
Yeah.
So, and I think that makes you stronger at the end of the day. Also being able to do things for yourself, but also being able to ask for help. So then when you do get into a relationship, you know how to ask for help properly, you know, without demanding, without
And be
expecting
open
it.
to, I mean, I think that the people who kind of make a point of doing everything on, I think, you know, as single women, we need to know how to build a shelf and put up curtains and change a light bulb and every cliche thing that men usually do, and open a jar and everything.
Yeah.
Like, we should. But there are things that we need to be able to ask for help and make it okay to ask for help, because then it, you know, if we've closed off our lives and way of living to other people, if somebody is trying to come into our lives and make it better, it will be much more difficult for them to
Yeah.
come in and to accept it and everything, like, you know, because we are a community.
Yeah, and I think when you ask for help, it also gives you an opportunity to help other people. It's again, it's a give and take in relationships, you know, someone helps you, you help them. And I think that's such a healthy thing to have in your life, is have people that you help each other. And I think that creates such strong bonds, you
Yeah,
know, like having that person that you can pick up from the airport and then they come pick you up. And it's just, you know, it's important to have these kind of people in your life.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was helpful, and I hope that
Yeah, let us
empowers you to ask for help.
ask for help and get out there.
Yeah. Okay.
And well, by the time this comes out, it would have been the new year for a while. So
Yeah.
speak to you soon.
Yes. Bye.
That's it for this episode of Pop Culture Cupid.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We're glad you're here.
Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit for more behind the scenes real talk.
And if you want to support the show, check us out on Patreon.
Until next time, be kind, be happy, be healthy, and remember, heartbreak isn't the end.
It's the plot twist.